Alright, what is up my guys and girls of YouTube? It is your boy Justin Omoi, and right now my back is hurting too much to be creating music, so I made this little PowerPoint presentation in hopes that you guys and girls will like what you see, and yeah. So today I want to talk to you guys and girls about understanding notes and scales for music theory basically in under 20 minutes, and keep in mind it may or may not be under 20 minutes, we'll see. I'll do my best to show you everything. Alright, so in this presentation we're going to teach you about, or we by me, the notes on the piano and the music theory, which is the same thing, the method of identifying a major or minor scale, a order of flats and sharps, the easy way of remembering the major scales, how to calculate the minor scales as well as the sharps or flat scales, and last but not least, that it doesn't really matter, the circle of fifths. Alright, first off, there's notes on the piano, believe it or not. Yes, there's two ways or two segments that we'll be able to identify the parts of the keyboard. Alright, one has two black keys, as you see, 1, 2, and the other has 3. Alright, so it's a section of 3 and then a section of 4. Alright, the first section will look real quick. It's C, D, and E. You could tell anywhere on the keyboard if you see two black keys, the first one on the left of the first black key is a C. So anywhere on the keyboard you see the two black keys, the one to the left is C. Alright, and then it goes C, D, E. If you remember the C, you'll know where D is. If you don't, it's in between the two segments, C, D, E, and then everything else is basically in forward, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Now these black keys have two different letters on there, or words on there. So what does this mean? If you were to go above by 1/2 step, alright, so I'll talk about half steps later, but if you go up by 1, that's known as a sharp. You're sharping the key, so that's C sharp. If you go up 1 from D, that's D sharp. If you go 1 up from E, there is nothing here, but this is called E sharp. Alright, going from E to F is E sharp. Same thing with B to C. B to C is, this is a B sharp here. Alright, flats is the same thing except it's going back from B to B flat. That's one, B flat. A, go back 1, A flat. F, go back 1, E, but it's F flat. Alright, how to identify a major or a minor scale? There's two counts we'll have to know. One is called a whole step, which is going up by 2 intervals, and another one is called a half step, which is going up by 1 interval, or 1 step in this case. Alright, so there's two counts. So here's a beautiful drawing that I made. A whole step goes up 2 counts. So we start from this note right here. If you guys and girls remember, there's two black keys. The first one to the left is C. So we go from C up to this first black key. This is 1 step. And then the second one, this is the D key. So this is a whole step from going to C to D. Alright, if you were to go to a whole step from here, it'll go 1, 2. So it'll be this key right here. So this is E, F, G flat. Alright, so E, F, G flat, or E, F, F sharp. Depends on the scale to name it a sharp or a flat. I'll show you that later. On the other side we have half step. So here we have the G. We go up 1/2 step. That's going to be a A flat or a G sharp. Alright, patterns for the major and minor scale. For major we have this pattern right here. The W is whole, the H is half. So it's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. For minor is whole step, half step, whole step, half, whole step, whole step. I know it's pretty weird or pretty hard to remember it, but if you think of it as a pattern, as in a boom, boom, clap, boom, 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 clap, you'll remember it that way. Major, boom, boom, clap, boom, 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 clap. Minor is boom, clap, boom, boom, clap, boom, boom. So whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. I guess you could say, you know, it sounds slower with the minor, whole, half, whole, whole, half, where the major is spontaneous, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, you know. So that's one, way of doing it. So let me go ahead and show you an example with this one. So here we have the G major we're going to get the G major scale for the whole and half steps, all right? We're starting with G. Here's G, all right? G is going to be here. It's in the 3 segments. Basically C, D, E, F, G, all right? So, so G, we're going to go a whole step. Boom. From G, whole is a A. Another whole step, so whole half. So here is G, whole step to A, whole step to B, and then we're going to half step. If you've seen the keyboard from before, you can see B and C, they don't have any black keys in between. So a half step would be going to the C key, which is this one, all right? Then we go whole to D, whole to E, right? And then we go whole again. So 1, 2. This time it's the F sharp key. It's not going to be the G flat key because we already have a key identified for G. So, you know, G, we started with G. So yeah, so it's F sharp and then finally the half to G. So that's how you get the major scale for minor. We start with G here, whole step to A, half step we go to B, whole step we go 1, 2 to C, whole step we go 1, 2 to D, half step we go to E flat. It's not D sharp, it's E flat in this sense. And then we do 2 whole steps, so 1, 2 to F, and then 1, 2 to G. It may be confusing, but if you take the time to press the keyboards and look at it, you'll understand the pattern, and especially when you hear the pattern, it'll sound better. But, you know, I'm not playing keys for y'all today. Order of flats and sharps is basically going to be the sharps or flats that is going to be played within the scale. So here's the order of flats. Don't worry, I'll explain everything. I'll show you another example. Here's the order of flats. Remember this, all right? I use it with a word and then this acronym, greatest common factor. It's BEAD, GCF. B-E-A-D, GCF is for the order of flats, all right? Order of sharps is basically this, but reverse. So F, C, G, D, A, E, B. F, C, G, dab. I don't know. But I like bead, GCF. That's why I said flats first. So if you remember this, you'll be gravy when it comes to the scales that we'll show you in the next slides. Next up, we're going to talk about an easy way of remembering the major scales, all right? There's a method that I came up with called the stroke order method, which I'll show you after this, but it's basically the way you write the letters. You'll see it in a moment. But here is the order of the major scales in terms of how many sharps or flats is in the scale. So notice F, C, G, D, A, E, B. If you remember, that is basically the order of sharps right here. All right. So starting with F. F is the only flat scale in the major scale if we're talking about whole, you know, pure letterings. All right. So that means it's F, not like F flat scale or something like that. We're talking about the only A, B, C, D, E, F, G. F is the only flat major scale for this. And F has 1 flat. And we're going to count this as -1, all right? Anything in the negatives is associated with flats, all right? Anything positive is associated with sharps. C looks like a 0. That's the easy way of doing it. If you were to draw a C, it's almost a 0, so you might as well put a 0 on it, all right? G could be written in 1 stroke. So if I were to show you with my mouse, I do a curve and then a line, we create a G. Boom, that's 1. So notice -1, 0, 1. D has 2, so D is like 1 stroke, and then a C or a curve, you could write it with 2. So that has 2 sharps. A, go figure, 1, 2, 3. E, 1, 2, 3, 4. And B, which I'll show you in this slide here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hopefully this could give you a professional way of remembering the sharps. If you don't remember, with the easier method, honestly, is the order of sharps itself here. Next up we're going to talk about calculating minor scales as well as sharps and flat scales. All right, I should have put an S here, my bad. So in order to get a scale from, let's say, for example, C major, we want to go to C minor. Let's say we have to do that. We'll have to do C major, which is 0. If you remember, I said C looks like 0. Subtract 3, and then we'll get -3, meaning there's 3 flats in the C minor scale. All right, for C sharp scale, C sharp major, C major has 0, and then we want to sharp it, so we add 7. So C sharp major will have 7 sharps in its scale. And then, as you could tell, C flat major would be -7. All right, next, here is a great example, or at least I'm going to go ahead and talk about this with you. The B major scale, if you've seen the stroke order or remember the order of sharps, F, C, G, D, A, E, B, B has 5 sharps in its scale. B major has 5 sharps, all right? So I said it right here, B major, 5 sharps, and those 5 sharps is going to be F, C, G, oh wait, G, my bad, D, A, yeah, F, C, G, D, A. That's the 5 sharps in the B major scale. In order to get B minor, we're going to take the B major, which is 5, and we're going to subtract by 3. So remember, -3. That total will give us 2, +2. So that means B minor has 2 sharps in its scale. And if we go about the order of sharps, that is F and C. So you can see F and C sharp. Okay? B flat major, we're going to take B major, which is 5, and we want to flat, so we subtract 7. 5 minus 7 equals -2. 2 being a negative is associated with flats, and the 2 flats we have is B and E. So here you go, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A. That's going to be the B flat major scale. It's getting wonky, isn't it? Here we go. We have some more B flat minor. All right, so let's take the B flat major, which is -2, and then we want to make a minor. So we subtract 3. That's -5. B, E, A, D, and G. So you can see C and F is the only natural things here. So B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, and A flat. Okay? And 2 more examples. These are too much for y'all to even care about, and I'll show you why in the next slide. But we have B sharp major, okay? So we have B major, which is 5, and we want to add 7 to make it a sharp. 5 plus 7 is 12. Hopefully I did the math right. And here is where we'll introduce something new called double sharps, which I'll talk is practically when a sharp has to get sharped again, okay? So 7 sharps, that's all 7 here, F, C, G, D, A, E, B, okay? And then we'll have to add 5 more. So we have to add 1 more sharp to the F, C, G, D, and A. That's why E and B does not have anything. So if we were to count this, the X is counted as a double sharp, so X is 2, okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, and 12. All right? Last but not least, B sharp minor. So we have B sharp major, which is 12. We subtract 3. That is going to be 9. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to be the scale. These are too complex to even comprehend or care about, which is why I'll show you what a B sharp minor looks like. So here we have the B sharp minor. Shout out to basicmusictheory.com. I just took this picture off of Google. Don't kill me. Here's the B sharp, right? This is technically B right here, and then B sharp minor. Minor is the whole step, half step, whole, half, whole. So we start on B sharp, and we go whole sharp, or whatever B sharp. We go to the D here. So yeah, you can basically see it's boom, boom. This black key, boom, boom, black key, boom. Notice that the black keys that are highlighted, it's B flat, A flat, and E flat. Basically, there's 3 flats in this B sharp minor scale. What other scale has 3 flats? Think about it. C major has 0. You subtract 3 to make C minor. That makes 3 flats in the C minor scale. And if you see right here, it's the same exact keys. B sharp is also C. And you're doing a minor scale. So B sharp is practically C, right? And then C is here. So C minor and B sharp minor is the same. All right, and last but not least, this is the circle of fifths. This looks really confusing for some of you guys and girls, but just understand it's basically what we were talking about the whole time, except, you know, in word form. A minor is the same thing as C major in terms of the scales. There's no sharps or flats in C major. There's no sharps and flats in A minor. If you remember, A is 3 sharps. The strokes, you have 1, 2, 3. If you subtract 3, you go back 3. 1, 2, 3. A minor, as you see, is the same here. So if we have 4 sharps and we want to be E minor, 1, 2, 3, boom, E minor. Okay? This is pretty complex if you have no idea about it at first, but you'll be able to make the connections with it if you were to, you know, go about it one by one. But as long as you've seen everything that I've showed you in this video and understand it, you'll be all right. All right, don't worry about this for now. Yeah. So that's basically it. As you see, a black screen right there. End of the slideshow. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully this helps you guys and girls understand. If not, go back and scroll through and re-understand it, and you'll be great. My name is Justin Omoi. We understood notes and scales in under 20 minutes. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.